Good evening. Welcome to our daily Bible challenge. It's about 6:42 in the evening, so I'm a little late. But we had a high school graduation celebration going on, and that we were invited to. It was for my nephew and Jonathan. He's graduating from Calvary Christian Academy and out in Crescenttown. And I spent 3 good years there coaching and teaching at Calvary Christian Academy. Years that I look back on, a lot of fond memories, a lot of good times. I learned a lot while I was there. This evening, if you've got your Bible, you can look at in the book of Isaiah chapter number 7. And while you're turning there, I just want to talk to you for a few minutes about, you've probably heard someone say this, or you may have even used this phrase. What are the odds of that? Something strange happens and you just can't believe that that could happen. The very first time I ever went golfing, I went with my neighbor, and I explained to him that I had never been golfing, and he was desperate. His friends that went golfing, none of them, he had called all of them, and they couldn't go, and he wanted to go, and he came over and he said, I've got clubs you can use, and if you'll go with me, I'll pay for everything, and you won't have to worry about it, and you can just enjoy yourself. So that's what we did. We went, and on the second one of the holes there at the golf course there going into Moorfield, I had hit the first shot, and it was laying about halfway down the fairway, and I lined up. I could see the green and way down ahead, and I took my second shot. I think it was a par 3, and so on the second shot, it cleared the fairway and landed on the green. It took a couple big hops, hit the pole and the flag, and dropped it down in the hole. And so I'd scored 2 shots on a 3-par hole, and so that was a rare thing. What are the odds of that? Very first time I ever bowled in my life, I was in I don't know what grade, either late junior high or first year in high school, 9th grade. I'd never bowled in my life. And they taught us in PE class how to keep score and different terminology and things like that. And then after they had taught us all that, then we went to the bowling alley. And I had told my buddies that I had never bowled before in my life. And so we all found a ball, and I stepped up and looked at the pins and tried to follow the instructions we'd been given in PE class. And I threw that first ball, and it went down there and knocked all the pins down. My very first ball ever, I got a strike. And so I was excited. My friends instantly started to think that I had been lying to them all this time. And but I really wasn't. The second frame, when I stepped up there, I threw another strike. And by this point, I had begun to think, I think I found my niche. I'm a natural. This sport is easy. My third ball was a strike. I threw 3 strikes in a row. The very first time I'd ever been bowling. What are the odds of that? Here's the sad thing. If you know anything about bowling, you know that my first score in the first frame, I had 30. At the very least, in the second frame, I had 50. In the third frame, the very least, I had 60 as far as a score. I finished that game with a 99. So from the time after I threw 3 strikes, I only scored 39 more points total from the 7 frames. So I don't remember what it looked like, but it had to be ugly. I threw a lot of gutter balls, and my friends that had thought I had lied to them quickly realized it was all beginner's luck in a sense. What are the odds of that? I was reading, today we had to get the oil changed in our Jeep, and so I was sitting in the waiting room at the car dealership, and I picked up a Whitetail magazine, and I found something really interesting in this article. It said that annually, in our nation, there are the average is 271 deer are killed that are big enough to qualify for a Boone and Crockett entry. 271. That sounds like a huge number of them. When you first think about it, you think, oh, Oh, the odds are pretty good. I might be able to kill me one of those this year. Well, here's what you got to consider. They say there are 10 million white-tailed deer hunters hunting every year. So now that 271 total, that's not a very big number compared to 10 million hunters out there. In fact, here's maybe something to help you understand it a little more. That means you would have to kill 37,000 deer before you'd finally kill one that would be a Boone and Crockett. So for you to say, well, maybe this year will be my year. Maybe you've seen that rookie hunter that's got no wood skills, no woods experience, no hunting experience, and he comes home with this big buck that is laying in the bed of the truck, and the horns are sticking up above the side of the truck. Everybody can see it. Who would have thought that? What are the odds of that? Well, for you to kill one, it would be like you are hunting and you kill a deer every year, and you'd have to hunt for 37,000 years before you would kill Boone and Crockett. You'd have to hunt 37,000 years. Every year, you kill one buck. And if you hunted for 37,000 years, they say that 1 out of every 37,000 is a Boone and Crockett. So what are the odds of that? Not very good. The odds that you'll kill a Boone and Crockett are not very good. And so if you do, count yourself very blessed, very fortunate to have bagged a buck that would qualify for the Boone and Crockett record book. The Bible, God's record book. You think about odds. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that 3 Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, could be thrown into that fiery furnace, heated up, 5 times hotter than ever before, tied up, and when they were thrown in there, suddenly the king saw them in there walking around loose, no longer tied up, and there was a 4th gentleman in there, and the king said, he looks like the Son of God. What are the odds of that? They came out, they didn't even smell like smoke. The flames hadn't even touched them. What are the odds that old Sarah, the wife of Abraham, in her old age could have a son, Isaac? What are the odds of that? What are the odds that God's prophet Jonah could get thrown into the ocean and swallowed by a whale and in 3 days be spit up on the beach there outside Nineveh? What are the odds of that? And what about the odds of a young virgin girl named Mary having a baby, being a virgin? Here's what Isaiah 7:11 says. When you think about what are the odds of that, and when you include God in that equation, then nothing's too hard for him. Because listen to what verse 11 says. Ask thee a sign of the Lord thy God. Ask it, either in the depth or in the height above. Go ahead, ask whatever you'd like to ask. Down here or way up here, here's what verse 14 says. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. That's exactly what God did. He had Mary be the mother of Jesus. She was a young virgin girl. What are the odds of that? That's an impossibility with man. But with God, all things are possible. So wherever you're at in your life, whatever situation you're dealing with that might be a tough situation, hang on to God's hand. Because what are the odds of that happening? That impossibility? Who knows? God's the impossible miracle worker. Have a blessed evening.